Hi, it's Pat Gillis here, and we have a program that we call Connecting with the Horse that we just released recently. And there's sort of a video sequence that goes with it. You may have gotten some emails from me about it. Anyway, I've had a whole bunch of friends of mine that I haven't seen for decades. And anyway, and they've been reaching out telling me that they've seen this series. And it's funny because they all know what I've been doing for the last 35 years, but I think that they were kind of mystified by it. And it's kind of fun because a lot of them have said, you know, in watching the series that they kind of get it yet. They're not ready to get passionate about horses by any stretch of the imagination, but at least they kind of understand what I see in them. You know, full disclosure, some of them still don't get it. that's perfectly fine too. But I've also gotten some emails from people I never met before, which has been really cool. And like this one person sent me a message today, and it said, I'm paraphrasing, but something like, the only thing missing from the video is the smell of horses. And I just love that because, well, I mean, I love the smell of horses. Like it's intoxicating to me. It's one of my favorite smells in the whole world. And I remember when I was in university, you know, and I'd be in the middle of exams, and back then I used to think I was stressed by the exams, so I would jog down to the stables because they were on the campus, and I would go into the barn and I'd find a horse and I would lift his mane. It sound like a nut, but I would lift his mane and I'd sniff under his mane because that is the nicest smell in the world. It's really strong right there, and that used to just sort of put me at ease, and I could go back to work and, you know, exams or writing essays or whatever it was that I was stressed by when I was 20. But one of the email that I got that really, really touched me is from a lady named Barbara. And I didn't ask permission to use her last name, so I'm not going to use her last name. But she told me this wonderful story of when she was young. Her father was about 30 years old, and he had started taking dressage lessons in Central Park. And she said she remembers one day that he pulled her up on the horse and sat her in front of him on the saddle, and she says she'll always remember his arms kind of going around her, and she leaned back against his chest, and then they just cantered around Central Park. And it was just, I just thought, what a great story that is. It was just the most, I can just imagine what a wonderful memory that was. And anyway, Barbara went on to have horses in her life all the time. You know, she had her son even used to lead their horse around, telling him to heel because they didn't have a dog. And it was just great. Her life has obviously just been blessed with being around horses all her life. But the thing is that Barbara's 80 years old, and she still loves horses, and she still loves watching videos about horses, which I just thought was so fantastic and so touching. And it was just so great to hear from her. And it just made me think there really are two kinds of people in the world. Either you get it about horses or you don't get it, and that's fine. But for all those of us who get it, it's like we're going to be like Barbara, right? We're never going to give that up. And anyway, I just thought that Barbara's story was so, it's really touching to me. And so Barbara, wherever you are, thank you for sharing that story. It was just fantastic. And to everybody else, I hope you're having a great week. Remember to thank your horse, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.